Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? Guys, there is a show that I have been anticipating and waiting to see just how it all plays out. And seeing this episode, I am just even more curious now. The Girl Who Chants Loves of the Bonds of long title. uh, with our boy getting sent back to the time period of pretty much, wherever the reset was going to be, he ends up back at the Rock where he pretty much meets with the person who first gave him the time traveling device. But he's there at a time when I think so there was a time where he goes there and someone pulls a gun on him. I think that's around the time he was there. And then because I say that he tries to do the same questioning of lines like didn't I see you guys last night type of deal, and it's just nothing that he was really doing was playing out nearly the way it did beforehand. So it's just as his father said, there were slight differences everywhere you kind of looked, and how did that man survive? Because now I'm dead. Um, and I like that because I mean, literally now it's kind of like this thing of if you aren't paying attention, that was sick. If you aren't paying attention, you're gonna miss something, you know. And with this week, I definitely was trying to pay attention to every tiny little detail. And with him saying something completely different once he said this questioning aligning of, didn't we meet last night and you saw me? And he didn't want to say like you brought a gun out on me, but he's like, we saw each other last night and now you don't remember. And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I something came up, and he's like, I don't go out at night anymore because I don't want to be the third person to wind up with the curse. The third person, and that like blew my mind. I was like, what is he going on about? And then we hear that the reports have only told us of one person who has gotten hit by this curse. So there you go. Like it's just one of those little tiny details that if you miss, you're like, oh, they're sneaky. So we now know that this man may actually know about him going through another timeline or going through a parallel world type of deal and trying to continue to change stuff and then wind up not doing it and returning because not only does he say something different, but he also gives the notion that he knew exactly kind of what has been going on in the case of um, did your father give you this device? Did your father, ever talk to you about what he actually believed? And we learned that his father was looking into immortality and stuff like that from past 400 years ago of what could be something alive. And we get a little bit of that, which I guess I will get back to. I mean, no, there wasn't very much happening. Like everything that happened, there's small details that I could explain throughout this whole entire review, but my anime people are pretty astute and they watch a lot of the stuff as closely as I do when I notice the things that they tell me they notice, and it's things that I kind of glanced off because I noticed something completely different. And that's why I love talking to you guys about anime in general. Because I always miss things that you guys might hit, and I always talk about some things that you guys might not even hit. So, with the painting that they see, or the testament, or I forgot how they called it, it really showed this island-looking thing with a door with an entrance, a big bright light that looked like just the sun, and then humans that were being practically, tortured or burnt because of this light. Uh, and to think that this week's episode not only shows us that and kind of gives us, a little bit of something to think about what could it mean and how does it actually translate in this story, but then they show us the fact that whoever is really knowing and seeing all these things is more likely than it's not the human guy that we're seeing. It's something much more stronger, something that's lived for much, much longer. And I think it's this 400-year-old that this even this woman that is her the mother of this guy has noticed is not her son, and it makes so much more sense why she says that. And we didn't get this little bit of details the last time he was around, because all we knew is the girl that shows up and she's like, "Oh yeah, you notice things about him." And she shows up this week too and tells him, like, "I want you to, if anything happens with him, please let me know," and this and that. But the thing that really blew my mind about that is then she adds more details that she didn't add the last time, saying that even his mother has told me that he's changed. Like that is something she didn't disclose the last time around. So it's those types of things that make me believe that maybe someone in the background is trying to make details fall quicker. Like because of the change or because of what he did, they now know that he has pretty good control of this ability or of this machine, and maybe they want him to have oh my God, Trunks, you're dead. They want him to have certain information to get closer to the goal. Maybe I'm not sure what this thing's goal is, but to see the dramatic change and to understand that our character was getting dizzy just from being in the room with this was very, very interesting. I mean, I was not expecting to see something like this and then it practically become the reasoning behind all of this man's change is this weird entity that seemed like it was talking for him almost. And his eyes had like changed into a brighter color. There's just so many different little details that were changing about him that really makes you look at it in the sense of, holy crap, this man is really someone else. This is really not the person that we think it is. Oh, that was sick. And because of it, we might learn, what this deity or what this demon, whatever the heck it is, this immortality beast wants and why it's taken over even a human to get what it wants. Um, but that's just me. I'm not sure if it could be this guy. Like he might. No, I don't know. I really don't know. This show is so good at giving me information and then not clear enough information for me to make a real decision on what I would go with. I wouldn't go with the guy himself that's trying to get the kid to open up about all the stuff that he might have. I don't want to say that he's been alive for 400 years and he's been going around trying to figure out how to get this device or something dumb like that. I think it's more of the case that he may be this light that shows up is the one thing that takes over somebody and tries to follow along with that device and maybe get it for its own means and has not been able to do so for 400 plus years. That's one thing I could think of right off the bat. But I also didn't see this as like a fighting slash uh, higher beings type of thing and, until I saw the elf looking lady who supposedly this was his mother that he saw back in like episode 1 or 2 when the person pops up by the rock to give him the device in the first place, or that gives him his hug and like a kiss and like cries when she sees him. I believe that was his mother, but the weird part is she was supposed to be blind. Like his mother was blind and look almost spot on with what we saw this person to pop up to look like. So I don't know. That's what I'm talking about. Like I could say it's his mom, but I don't know. I mean, it would make sense. She knew him by name. She was that excited to see him. He was always getting fevers and stuff. And since she may be from another world, maybe him having both DNA of the mother and the father was something that was actually hurting his overall physical body and making him getting sick a lot more. And he needed to like adjust to this world if he hadn't already known what the other world that his mom resides from, maybe by not going there, that's another reason why he was always feeling so ill. I'm not sure, but there was so much in this episode that I truly was enjoying myself. And then I started to think of all the stuff that I was just informed with, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know what the heck is gonna happen now, man. Like, I usually when some shows like this where it's like mystery and his dad could possibly be alive and all this stuff, like I usually like to know somewhat of what I'm gonna get myself into in the future episode. But this was like, nah, bro, just all this information we gave you, just enjoy yourself, man. Just let it build and sit. So that's what I'm doing. It's sitting and it's building. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say on this week's episode. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to pick apart all the stuff I said and be like, nah, that's not in, or yeah, you're kind of close, but not really close. I love those comments. Like, you're close, but not really at all. But with that being said, guys, have an awesome day, and I want to thank you guys so much for the support. Even if you guys sub to me for one type of anime and that's the only anime you watch from me, it's totally fine, because regardless of the fact, I just love being able to have people to talk about these shows with that are just as passionate, if not more passionate, about their animes, or the ones that I'm passionate about. So, with that being said, I hope to talk to you guys in the comments, and I'll have pictures up of all the episodes that I put up of One Punch, Black Clover, and this show on Anime Amimo. So definitely get an application, get that app, and it's free to download, and you can follow me on there, and I'll have pictures from all types of series up there. So with all that being said, have an awesome one, and I will talk to you later. Peace. Ah, I messed up. Oh, I got him. Not gonna do a lot of damage though. Eat. What? Goku, please. Oh my lord. Gotta get out of this. Nope. See how much damage Trunks can do. Really? Alright, so. What? Why is Luffy so safe? And has a grab that goes through blocks. Yeah. I'm gonna have to do it to him. Oh no. He's doing it to me. Block.